My name is Vivek, and in 2021, as an experiment, I started a YouTube channel to document my life and make videos on the topics that fascinated me at the time. Looking back, I've done quite a bit in the past couple of years, worked and interacted with some of the smartest people in the country, people whom I'd previously only ever watched on screens. Today, a large part of my job involves reading, staying up to date, and acting on that information. And as an extension of that, I thought, why not put a camera onto everything that I'm reading, learning, and absorbing, and actually put it out to the world. Recently, I came across a report by India Quotient, a VC firm that puts out some really good quality insights on what's actually happening in India. The report is called India Insights, and it's about 190 pages long. I'll link it in the description, and I genuinely think it's worth reading the whole thing. But there was one chapter in particular that stuck with me, which is also why I wanted to make this video. It talks about one of the most underrated shifts happening in the country right now. There are 1.4 billion people, 120 languages, 1,500 dialects, 2,000 ethnic groups, 4 major religions were literally born here. India is complicated. But here's what I think everybody missed. While the analysts and the NRIs were writing papers on how complex India is, India quietly started becoming the same person. Picture this. A guy born in Kerala moves to Bangalore for work, eats ramen from Naru for dinner, watches K-dramas on Crunchyroll, and learns about the world from Johnny Harris on YouTube, the melting pot. Let's start with raw numbers. 600 million people in India live outside the place where they were born. That's 43% of the country just moving. There are basically 3 highways reshaping Indian culture. First, there's the labor corridor, where folks from UP and Bihar flowing into cities like Delhi and Mumbai for blue-collar work. Second, there's the white-collar corridor, where people from literally every part of the country moving into cities for either government jobs or corporate careers. And the third, there is a tech corridor for, again, literally every state funneling into cities like Bangalore, Pune, and Hyderabad. I'm contributing to this myself. I grew up in Kerala and looked at Karnataka and looked at Bangalore as a city in which I want to pursue my career or wanted to pursue my career in. And that's how it works now, where there are certain cities which congregate certain types of talent. And for example, if you want to be in early stage investing, Bangalore is the place to be. And if later stage growth equity or private equity or investment banking is something that interests you, Mumbai is the better city for that, and so on. And now think about what happens when you take a Bihari engineer, a Keralite designer, a Gujarati sales guy, and a Tamil ops lead and put them all under the same apartment complex in Bangalore. They don't just coexist, they merge. That apartment complex now celebrates Diwali, celebrates Onam, celebrates Durga Puja, celebrates Christmas, and yes, Halloween as well, where the Bangalore tech crowd that's gone to the US and come back have also bring back festivals from the US as well. And this is not prevalent only in Bangalore, but also other cities like Bombay, which has been doing this forever. Every festival's on the streets and inside gated communities. 600 million people don't just migrate. They also take their culture with them and in the process created a new shared one, the corporate blender. India's tech workforce has gone from about 500 million people in 2000s to nearly 6 million people in just the IT sector alone. And the broader white-collar workforce is multiples of that. More than half of them are migrants living away from their home. And what the growth of this white-collar workforce creates is a standardized work culture. Doesn't matter whether you're in Infosys, Mysore, or in Accenture in Gurgaon. English-speaking Western formals 5 days a week, same Slack channels, same HR policies, and so on. But what's really interesting is that this isn't just a metro thing anymore. In 2025, tech hiring growth in Coimbatore was 24%, Kochi 22%, Jaipur 20%, all of them outpacing Bangalore and Delhi. The corporate monoculture is spreading. and it's carrying a unified India with it. You are what you eat. Okay, if you want actual proof that India is converging into one country, just look at what we order for dinner. Biryani. 93 million orders on Swiggy in 2025. That's one biryani every 3.25 seconds. The top states ordering biryani on Zomato are spread across the entire map. North, south, east, west. It's not just a Hyderabadi thing anymore. It's the national dish. But this goes beyond food delivery. The traditional chai tapri, which was the unorganized social network, the local language, the food that's affordable on every street corner. But now, 40% of new cafes are opening outside tier 1 cities. Lucknow, Jaipur, Indore, Chandigarh, big format 4,000 square foot restaurants and cafes that are opening, where Gen Z camps for 2 to 3 hours every sitting when they do visit. The original tapri needed local language. The new cafe, it's all English. Same menu in Jaipur as it is in Indiranagar or Koramangala. The content diet. Gen Z across India now consumes the exact same content. And the biggest surprise, a lot of it isn't even Indian. I was recently watching the T20 World Cup and saw a Crunchyroll ad with Shubman Gill endorsing it. And as somebody who's grown up watching anime, I've never imagined a mainstream Indian cricketer promoting an anime streaming platform. But that's exactly where we are right now. India is now the second largest anime market in the world after the US. And over 65% of anime viewing in India happens in dubbed regional languages. So a kid in Madurai and a kid in Meerut are watching the same Naruto episode just in different languages. On Blinkit, about 1/3 of all noodles that are sold are now Korean ramen. On Nykaa, K-beauty is growing faster than ever compared to even other categories. In India, it's kind of in the middle of a full K-wave. And it's not just in the metros. But you know what? The moment that actually crystallized this for me was actually Diljit Dosanjh, a Punjabi singer who played or had a concert in Bangalore. And the Bangalore metro broke its all-time ridership record with 9.2 lakh people in a single day. A Punjabi artist in Karnataka, that's proof that the culture and what we consume is not defined by the region anymore. It's just shaping up to be India altogether. And cinema also tells us the exact same story. In 1990s, Hindi was 90% of the box office, where today it's just 40%. The top grossing films are in Telugu, in Kannada and in Tamil. They are not just regional hits anymore, they are pan-India blockbusters. Pushpa, KGF, Bahubali. Everybody watches everything now. Another force multiplier, at least in my opinion, is actually the IPL. 1.4 billion views on the opening weekend. 34 million people watching it simultaneously. And look at Dhoni, right? Dhoni is from Jharkhand, but people still call him Tala, which translates to the leader. And as a byproduct of this, cricket didn't just unite India, it made regional identity almost irrelevant. Okay, so far we've covered what we eat, what we watch, but it's also translating into how we actually look. Blue jeans, sneakers, a graphic tee. That's the uniform now. Doesn't matter if you're a VC in Bandra or a delivery rider in Bhopal. India is the fastest growing denim market in the world, and tier 2 and tier 3 cities account for 40% of all denim sales. And that's just the day-to-day stuff. But weddings might be even more telling. For example, I'm 26 and I'm also at that age where a lot of my friends are getting married one after the other. And even the way that weddings are conducted have changed completely in my opinion. Where growing up, I've never seen alcohol and a barat and a sangeet in a South Indian wedding. The whole concept seemed very North Indian and also the way it was portrayed in movies. But now, because of how unified our culture is becoming, it's slowly just becoming the Indian way of the wedding, which is actually quite nice to see. Also, traditionally, every region had its own bridal identity. A Rajasthani bride looked very different from a Bengali bride who looked nothing like a South Indian bride. But now, it's all Sabyasachi, it's all Instagram. Weddings have bridesmaids, vows, pastel colors everywhere. In fact, the search for soft pink bridal is up 5x this season. And in terms of language, English and Hinglish have become the national glue. 125 million English speakers in the country, the second largest in the world. Vyapar, for example, the accounting app used by small businesses across India, have their usage predominantly in English. Even tier 4 cities and towns are using the app in English, where we thought every software needed to be multilingual for adoption. This is actually a trend that is proving to be wrong in many ways. And then there's this, inter-caste marriages, which went from 5% in 2006 to almost doubling, or actually more than doubling, to 12% in 2020. Urban migration, dating apps, and English as a common language are now breaking barriers that existed for centuries. With 80% literacy and a focus on higher education, we probably just need one more generation where I look at everybody in India as Indians and not this whole South India, North India, East and West and so on. Okay, so I've given you a bunch of information, but what does this all actually lead to? And this is a part of the video which is purely my opinion. But in my opinion, most of the brands and companies that are going to be built in the next decade or so are going to be coming out of non-metro cities. And the reason being is that currently the only way metro cities differentiated themselves from the others is because of taste. And when I say taste, I mean two things. One is exposure, and second is the content that I'm consuming. But right now, because of how the country is congregating, the content that everybody is consuming is predominantly the same, and broadly the tastes are also converging. And because of this, there are two real benefits of building out of T2. One is the real estate prices, which also directly impact the cost of living. And because of a significantly lesser cost of living for, let's say, employees and the operations at large, most founders and companies can operate with a much lower overhead overall. Because of which the next brand or the next wave of companies and brands might not necessarily have to come from Bangalore or a BKC or a Mumbai or so on. It can very well come from a tier 2, tier 3 city. And this is a trend that has already started to pick up as well. And what all this also made me realize is that India is not very complex. India was just early. And now it's syncing up. And that took some time because of how large and diverse our country is. And yeah, it looks like over the next 10 years or so, everybody will be a different version of the same person, similar to how Americans are right now. Cool. So if you found this video interesting, subscribe.